Okay, that's the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel right there. 18 miles of fisherman playground. 15th of September today, and I'm going for the bull redfish. Taking my kayak out. I'm bringing 2 rods with me. And first rod, this is like the flounder rod slash bait rod. I've got a top and bottom rig on this. I'm going to use this to try to catch croaker, spot. I got a bunker snag too. I'll try to catch some menhaden if they're around. And then this is the drum rod. 7-foot, heavier action, 6-ounce egg sinker, 10-aught hook. This is what's going to be doing the damage on the bull reds if they're out there. So everything's loaded up. I'm getting ready to launch. I'll keep you guys updated. I was going to come down here for 2 days and fish the bridge tunnel for 2 days. This is my second day down here, but then I heard there was a good cobia bite down that way, about an hour. So I fished from the beach on the Atlantic trying to catch cobia, and I didn't catch anything, just some rays and like broke off a shark and some little fish. So I figured today, you know, I better try to make this trip count. I know there's bull reds out here. Probably be some cobia still, but I mean, I don't expect to catch any cobia. Bull reds are doable though. So I'm gonna get some live bait. Hopefully I can find some bunker. Redfish really like bunker. And if not, you know, spot, croaker, and whatever else I can catch really. Red drum really, I mean, they'll eat anything. So I'm not really sure where I'm gonna go. Obviously somewhere out there. But whenever I start fishing and start catching, I'll get back to you. I only got this far off the beach, quarter mile. I'm gonna drop down the top and bottom rig with some clams and try to see if I can't catch a couple baits. Also gauge the depth here. It's not too deep, 8 feet deep or so, but that should be good for catching bait. Should be some bait around. Yeah, croaker, spot, sand perch, all species of fish I'm hoping to catch right now. Something that I can live line for 50-inch drum. Got this little kingfish. This is my first fish here. I think that'll be good, good drum bait. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw him in my bucket. All right, we got 1 bait. I'm gonna try to get like 2 more, and then go further out, probably a mile out. Try to drop down some of these baits for the drum. Really light traffic out here today. I hardly see anyone else out here. There's like no one out here. Aside from that bridge, it's dead quiet. And when there's no cars going over the bridge, it's like really, really quiet. It's really nice out here. They're always wrong with their forecast. Today's wind forecast was like 0 to 3 mile an hour winds. And right now, I mean 10 mile an hour wind out of the north. And it's choppy. So that wind forecast is never accurate. This is such too unique of an area to be able to predict the wind. You know, the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, you've got such different weather patterns than like mainland or like regular shoreline. It's very hard to predict the weather here. I'm just happy it's not sunny though. No sun. It's nice and overcast. Seems pretty promising. Another kingfish. Another kingfish. I can't imagine a bull red is gonna like pass that up. That's just like bull red candy right there. Gotta be bull red candy. So I got 2 of them, and that's probably enough to get me started. You know, I think I'll be able to get bait whenever I need it. I don't really want to overcrowd this bucket. I've only got a little bit of water in there, no aerator. So with that, I am gonna go continue my voyage out here in my search for drum here. Get the drum search started. So let's see what happens. Stopped at this here piling. Oh, spadefish. Hey. I do like some spadefish. I have not caught a spadefish since I was a little kid. So that thing is a really awesome fish. It's like an angelfish. Apparently good to eat. And that's awesome. Very interesting fish. Sweet. Very sweet. Nice spadefish. I'm debating whether or not to keep it. I think I have to keep it, but I also don't have anywhere to put it. So I'll let it go. Just little 1/0 hooks. Piece of clam. Just like that. Usually if there's one spadefish, at least from what I've heard, if there's one spadefish, that means there's a school down there. So I'm gonna assume there's a school down there, do the same thing I just did, drop it down to the bottom, and then reel it up. Oh, as soon as I dropped bottom, oh, of course, it's not what you're looking for. Not looking for sea bass. Try this next piling. I'm getting distracted. I should not be doing this. I should be targeting the bull reds, but I never get to catch spadefish, so I kind of gotta get it all while I'm down here. Never catch spadefish. When I was younger, we used to go on vacation, me and my family, down to the Outer Banks, and every now and then, like some years down there would be spadefish on the piers, and we would catch them off the piers. But I probably haven't caught a spadefish since I was like 12 years old, which is about, at least 10, 15 years ago. So last time I caught a spade. Alright, try this piling out. Let's see if there's any spadefish on this piling. This kind of makes me wish I had more bait. I only got 3 clams, because I figured I would only need enough clams to make bait for bull reds. But now, I feel like I could do this for a while. It's gotta be one of the coolest places to fish ever. Mouth of the Chesapeake Bay, you have 18 miles of bridge and tunnel in like the ripe waters of the mouth of the Chesapeake. Alright. I am really not too far offshore here, but the depth of the water dropped significantly. Got about 20 feet of water, and I think that's good enough. Good enough to drop down to Kingfish. Alright, there's my Kingfish. I'm just gonna nose hook him. I should probably hook him through the back, but I'm worried that constant maneuvering, he'll die if I hook him through the back. Drop him down. So I'm not really feeling the live kingfish. I'm kind of feeling the bucktail. I don't know where these drum are at. I gotta find them. It's a pretty overwhelming place to fish. There's like so many places to fish. So figure I can cover more ground with this bucktail. And if I happen to see a cobia swim by, you know, I'll be prepared. There's that. I mean, I can fish this on the surface for like that freaking pipe dream of a cobia, but fishing it on the bottom is going to be the way to go for the red drum. Alright, there's the island, 3 miles off. Tide is ripping in right now. It's taking me like an hour to get here. I've been trolling the whole time, this bucktail, just kind of 10-20 feet back from the kayak, hoping some kind of crazy fish is on the surface swimming by like a cobia, but nothing has happened. I saw a school of bunker, saw a bunch of other fishermen. Nobody's catching anything, but hopefully around this island I can find these reds. They're definitely around. So I'm gonna get out here, start fishing, and we'll see. So I've jigged my way all across this island, throwing this bucktail. Got a couple bites that were probably either little sea bass, bluefish, flounder, stuff like that, but no real bites. I'm not really seeing any concentrations of boats either that would like dictate a bite. You know, if there was like a bite somewhere, there would be a bunch of boats, and all the boats are pretty spread out, so I'm not really sure which boats know what they're doing. which boats don't know what they're doing, who's targeting redfish, who's targeting what. Whoa. Rocks. It's getting rocky. I've always wanted to fish this point right here. That's the pier. I fished off that pier a lot. Caught fish there last year. Oh, there's a rock. Yeah. Kind of got excited there. I thought that might be a fish. Yeah, I fished off that pier last year. And earlier this year. I fished off that pier quite a few times. And yeah, this point right here, I've always seen it and always been like, damn, I want to fish that point. It's the first time I've done it. It seems good here. I mean, water's pretty deep. There's rocks down there. There should be reds here in the vicinity. Oh, it's shallow here. Wow, it's actually really shallow. Probably get away from those rocks a little bit. This area feels pretty fishy right about here. Over here is pretty shallow. You know, if I cast 20 feet that direction, the water feels like it's maybe 15 feet deep. And then if I cast 20 feet that direction, the water feels like it's about 30 feet. It's a pretty significant drop off here. Good current. The water's got like this like deep, weird chop to it, like this like really like quick, tiny chop here. You know, current colliding upon itself. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels fishy. So the jig didn't get bit. I'm rigging back up. Both my kingfish died, but that's all right. They'll be good chunk bait. I'm gonna try chunking a kingfish. See if that can produce something for me here. I don't think I've ever really heard of people using kingfish for drum bait, but I don't see why it's not gonna work. Drum are opportunistic feeders. They'll eat anything. Big 10-aught J-hook. Some 60-pound leader. Oh, that guy's hooked up on a drum behind me. Or he's snagged. He's snagged, never mind. I don't know, maybe he is hooked up. It kind of looks like they're chasing it. So, I don't know. Toss this right out there. And see how deep this water is. Oh yeah, it's 25 feet, 30 feet. Water's probably 35 feet deep. Yep. Let's try that. So I got my drum rod out and the rod holder back there. So I gotta try to catch some more bait. Got this guy. I think it's a porgy. I'll take that porgy. Got him on this kingfish tail, a little chunk of tiny chunk of kingfish tail. Top and bottom rig. Great variety of species out here. Great variety. Lots of little fish. However, the big fish are hard to come by. Just in the last half hour or so, there's been more and more boats congregating on the tip of that North Island up there, which can only mean one thing. Yep, I think they own the drum up there. But if you look at that island and you look at this island, I mean, I'm kind of set up the same way they are. The tip of the island, current sweeping around. I think there's some drum down here. So I'm gonna keep fishing right here in this spot. Wind and the tide going against each other. It's holding me right in place. It's one time that like wind and tide against each other is good. Like, it's usually a really bad thing. It makes it rough. But right now, the wind is light, the tide is light. It's not rough, and I'm just holding right here. I'm not moving at all. I don't have an anchor out, but I'm just sitting here in position. It's real good. Oh, there's something. Hey, y'all. What is it though? Grouper. Ah, grouper. So that's a gag grouper. Juvenile gag grouper. These things are actually pretty common around here. There's no keeper size on that. I could keep that if I want, but I mean, if you look at the size, it's not worth keeping. There's a lot of gag groupers around. So many little bites. So many little bites. It's gotta be more of these like pinfish, porgy type fish. You know, they got small mouths. They really just like nibble at the bait like a piranha. That's what I'm feeling. Nothing's really eating these chunks of kingfish. They're just nibbling on them. Need something to get it in its mouth. Like that grouper. Bunch of bull crab right here, these little fish. Oh, got that one. What do we got? Never know. Oh, pufferfish. Pufferfish. Northern puffer. Yes, that could be what I was missing this whole time. Maybe there's just a bunch of puffers down there. Funny fish. Very funny. There's some. Oh, a little bigger. I don't know. Feels like another puffer. Feels like another puffer. Even worse. Wow, the species of fish is just deteriorating the longer I fish. Oyster toads. No love for oyster toads. No love for them. So that ship just went by. It's giving me one hell of a wake. It's a pretty big wake coming right there. Very large wake. Look at that wake. These kayaks are incredibly stable. So I have zero fear of this wake. Like, I know that I'll be fine. That wake is kind of like spaced far enough apart that, you know, whoa. That almost sounded like a bite. I guess it was just the wake. No, nothing. Now that's a fish. I'm getting a run. Wow. Fion. Fion. I'm gonna say this is not a drum. That's my guess. But we'll see. There's a lot of rays, a lot of sharks. Hopefully it's a drum, but yeah, I'm going ray. The trend of the stingrays seems likely. Shark. It's a shark. Yep, that's a shark, all right. It's a shark. At least it kept it interesting. Don't have much confidence in catching a redfish right now. This shark is breaking my confidence. Little guy too. Whoa! This is not a big shark. Not very big. Whoa. Wow. Can still fight. He's completely soaked me. Just wish this was a drum soaking me and not a shark. I kind of want to get my hook back. I'm not into losing tons of tackle to trash fish. I'm not even sure what kind of shark this is. Whoa. 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 No. Alright. Chill out. Chill out. Just gotta get his head out of the water. Yeah, I'll just break that. Fuck this. So there's your shark. That's why I don't like sharks. They always kind of bite at the worst time. It's a nice little guy though. Definitely have teeth. I'm being very careful not to let him get a hold of me. I'm just gonna cut this line. Just like that. Alright, yep. Alright, that'll be the last. Fuck. It would not be a trip to the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel without getting a shark. Always gonna get a shark. So what I'm gonna do, now that I've lost my hook, see this buoy right out there. It looks like it's about half a mile or less. And there's still cobia around. The cobia are coming out the bay right now. And there's southern migration. And yeah, I'm gonna go check out this buoy. You know, take the hint from the fish gods that the drum aren't biting right now. Maybe it's time. I mean, the tide is slack, so this is perfect timing. So I always want to catch cobia. Cobia are like a big goal of mine. For years, I've wanted to catch a cobia. When I was a little kid, me and my family used to go on vacation to the Outer Banks, and that's where I first heard about cobia, off the piers. You know, people would always talk about them, although I would never see them. I've never seen anyone catch one off a pier. But since I was a little kid, you know, cobia have been on my mind, and in recent years, I've been trying more and more to catch them. I'm making at least a couple trips down to this region each summer, and so far nothing has worked out. It just doesn't work. It never works. You know, come here on a full moon, come here with the wrong guide, come here with something, you know, the wind's bad. Just never works out. I've caught one 30-inch cobia on the one cobia trip that I've been on, and that time the guide himself had hooked up with like a 30-incher, and another one followed it in, and I threw a pink zoom at it, the 5-inch size. This is the 7-inch size. That's the lure that I really want to catch cobia on. This is exactly what I want to catch cobia on. Everyone throws 2-ounce bucktails down here, and I mean, there's got to be a reason they all throw 2-ounce bucktails. It's got to work. That definitely works. But I just don't understand why they don't use lighter jig heads. You know, use a 1/2 ounce or a 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce if you have to. This is 3/4 ounce. And the only thing I can think of is casting distance. Casting distance is probably why they use heavier jigs. And maybe the fall rate. Maybe cobia like something that falls really fast. I really don't know. hopefully there's a cobia on this buoy, and I'll be able to figure out a little bit about, you know, what kind of lures they like, how they bite, etc. But, you know, now I'm getting close to this buoy, and I can already tell you there's 99% chance of failure in what I'm doing right now. I would say I have a 1% chance of there being a cobia on this buoy. It is slack tide, and the cobia are exiting the bay. This is the mouth of the bay. Water is nice and clean. It's worth a try, so I'm gonna give it a try. Yeah, I'm almost in casting distance now. And like I said, I think in my head there's like I increased my odds. I'm gonna say 90% chance of failure. That's what I'm thinking of. I've got a 10% chance of getting a cobia off this right now. At least that's how I see it. I've only ever fished buoys for cobia once on my buddy Kenny's boat, and we didn't see any cobia, so I really don't know the deal here. I assume that they're just kind of hanging out around that buoy though, if there's any here, which I'm gonna fish like there are cobia here, but I'm going to assume that there are not cobia here. You know, if there are, that's great. But if there's not, then I won't be disappointed. One of these times, this is gonna work. If not this year, you know, maybe next year. But like one of these times, this has gotta work. There's a seagull on this buoy. Another one up there. So we got seagulls, but we don't have cobia. Sounds about right. Need that cobia. I'm probably honestly just gonna camp this buoy for the duration of the incoming tide. We've got dolphins out here. I just seen, oh, right there. Yeah, dolphins. Question is, are there any cobia on those dolphins? That's the important question. I'm gonna assume yes to cobia on the dolphins. And if I snag a dolphin, then I will not be drum fishing. Let's see this freaking cobia on here. Come on, cobia. Off the dolphins. Definitely spooked them. The dolphins. Because they gone. There was no cobia. Yep, nothing. To the next buoy. I'm gonna troll this just in the off chance that it produces something. Say there's a very slim chance of getting a cobia on the troll right here. And so if I had like a 1 in 10 shot of getting a cobia off that buoy, I'd say I have a 1 in 10 shot of getting a cobia off this buoy. And that brings my odds up to 20%. So these are better odds. I've got better odds going onto this buoy. At least, maybe. Still don't think there's any cobia on these buoys, but you just gotta try. Drove 5 hours to get here, paddled an hour and a half to get out here. I can paddle another 10 minutes with a shot at a cobia. That wasn't even 10 minutes, that was like 3 minutes. 3 minutes of paddling. This one's got a bell on it. That's cool. Let's see. This oil tanker coming through, well actually it's a container ship coming through. It's gonna make it nice and interesting being out here on this kayak. It's gonna definitely keep it interesting. Oh, finally got something to stick. Ah, it came off. Little. Felt very little. Another cobia boat come through. So I watched these buoys for probably an hour, 2 hours, and no boats came by. Then I came out here, and now this is the second cobia boat that's come looking. So I'm wondering if they know about the slack tide. I wonder if it is like a slack tide thing. You know, because I don't know. I think I've heard that a slack tide is the right tide to be hitting buoys, but I've never done it. I haven't even researched it much. There's actually not a whole lot of information about it online. I didn't find much online, but I've heard some people say that like slack tide's the right tide. So I feel like I'm making the right call by just camping this buoy. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing. I'm just gonna keep camping, messing around with these tiny little fish. Look at that thing glide across the water. That's a big ship. Big ship. The wake it's pushing is tremendous. Tremendous wake. Like tremendous wake. Tremendous wake coming off that thing. I can no longer see the horizon. All I can see is wake. Like that cobia boat that is right there. You can see him. I can see him, but like I can't see the water on the other side of this wake. I'm still confident that I will stay afloat. I don't think I'm going to be capsizing. It's not like a breaking wave. That's just like a big wake. Gets my heart pumping a little bit to see that though, because that's a serious wake. Like look at this thing. Look at this wake. Oh man. Oh man. Big wake. Oh my God. Holy crap. That's a freaking huge wake. Huge. That probably didn't even look too bad on camera. Maybe it did, hopefully it did, but that was crazy. That was crazy. For a little bit there, I was like, couldn't see anything anywhere, just water all around me. But yeah, not a drop of water in the kayak, I think we're good. That was awesome. That was awesome. Get out of here. This boat is either turned around, or it's going backwards, or this is another boat, but this is another one coming through. Damn. Yeah, that's a different one. That thing really snuck up on me. I wasn't even paying attention. That was a lot closer. I'm just gonna paddle away from it. And then the last wake, that was no big deal. This one is significantly closer, and I fear that that might make it, you know, a bigger deal with the wake. That is some crazy stuff there, man. It is some crazy stuff that makes me feel real small. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at that wake. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. That is some scary stuff. That is so scary. So scary. This is the one I'm kind of worried about. This one was breaking. Hopefully it's only breaking like right behind the ship. Like I'm not trying to, I don't see any breakers now. Dude, that was crazy. Man. Crazy. My heart is going crazy right now. Holy crap. Fishing here. The secondary wake coming through. This was the one I was worried about. It's like not breaking anymore, so I'm not really worried about it anymore. That was freaking scary. That was freaking scary. I didn't know if I was gonna make it. That was freaking scary. Damn. I'm shaking so much right now. Been fishing my way in, kind of calling it a day. I've kind of been hitting pilings on my way back, seeing if I can find any more of them spadefish. Look at that. That's a weakie. Little weakie. So I was fishing, catching these little sea bass, and then end up pulling up a croaker, and kind of started fishing right here, and seems to be lots and lots of these fish here. Croaker and weakfish are in the drum family, if you see what I'm saying. Okay, we got drop and reel like croaker and weakfish. Kind of thinking I might have a chance at a drum here. I really have given up, but now we're seeing this. I'm thinking what I have to do is chunk right here. It's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like halfway back to my car. The wind also picked up out of the east. That's kind of what I wanted to get in for because of the tide going out against that wind. I mean, this wind is now like 10, 12 miles an hour, which is not bad, but if you get the tide ripping against it, then it'll quickly get bad. So I didn't want to be coming back with big chop like that, so I figure I better get back. But now, I mean, I've been fishing and like the tide hasn't turned. Like, it's still slack. It's been slack tide for 3 hours. There's just like weird tides here. Every time I'm here, the tide's different. Like, it's hard to time the tides down here. Even you look at the tide chart, you know, it's still gonna be a funny tide. So I'm gonna catch another one of these things because it's kind of fun, and then I'm gonna chunk the croaker. Son. Little croaker. Good bait. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna chunk these. I'll get back to you. Alright, so the theory is, this is about to be gruesome, so if you're squeamish, don't watch this. But the theory is there's drum mixed in with these croaker and these weakfish, because they're all part of the drum family. You know, they're family, so maybe they'll stick together, you know what I mean? Like, that's what we're going for. That's the theory. So I'm gonna give it a try. I'm giving it a try. Chunked croaker in the croaker school. Water's still 25 feet deep or so. Got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Drop back down, try to get some more of these croaker. These are, I believe these are the first croaker I've caught all year. Forgot how good they fight. Even these little guys still fighting like champs. I'm gonna keep them. Just caught this one on a piece of gulp, tiny piece of gulp. I threw a gulp earlier. Got the tail bit off by probably sea bass, so I'm just using a piece of gulp on the hook, and croakers are eating it. No surprise there. Oh, son. Drop and reel. It's as fast as you want to catch them. Oh, look at that. 2 little weakfish. Whoa. 2 little weakfish. It's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of life here. A lot of drum life. There's gotta be a drum. Whoa. Yeah, this tide just started to go out. Just started going out. And we have white caps and waves coming over the side of the kayak. So I'm getting out of here. I think I'm gonna stop at the pier right over there. Because I think now that I have these croakers, it's worth trying on my way out of here. So I'm gonna go there, probably fish till dusk. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the pier and fish till it gets dark before making the drive home. This paddle back is gonna suck. Got about 1.5 miles to go, maybe a mile. Luckily I don't have to come from all the way back there. Yeah, this is a 1.5 mile paddle. All right, yep, catch you later.